Hey VC, I'm back for part 2 of my April vinyl finds. And yeah, like I said in the video, if you've already watched the first one I've uploaded, I managed to get quite a few albums in the last month. And I'm going to show you, let me show you my record store day, because everyone's done the record store day video and I haven't. I actually got 4 records on record store day, and I broke down and bought one online, which is supposed to arrive in the next day or two. So the one I really wanted was, of course, what everybody else wanted, the Pink Floyd Piper at the Gates of Dawn, the new mono reissue, especially for record store day. And neither of my stores actually even got it in. They didn't even get a copy. The one store, the owner, Steve, was telling me he ordered 5 copies and he never got one of them. So I was on eBay and I found one in Calgary that was actually a decent price, so I ended up ordering it online. But I did get 4. So I got the, let me take it out of the plastic. I got the Bowie Now. So this was originally, came out, I guess, in the 70s, 77 or something like that. And it was kind of selections from Low and Heroes. And I guess it's been quite highly valued. Do my cover, maybe. I guess it's a pretty sought after original, so kind of cool that it came back out for record store day. It's got a cool rare poster inside it. Let's take a look. I forget actually if the vinyl, but I think the vinyl's white. Yeah. So it's a nice white vinyl. And on the inside it came with a poster. Put that back in. I guess it was a rare photo of Bowie. Looks like he's in the area between the wall. Cool little black and white photo. And then there's the song listings on the back. I got this one. I know a lot of people have shown it. This is the alternative Moondance, Van Morrison. This plays really cool. As Shamrock and Records pointed out this morning, I watched his. There's one additional song on here, I Shall Sing. Yeah, I mean, I've actually got a Van Morrison video coming up, going through what I have on vinyl and talking a little bit more about Van Morrison. As I've already told you guys on previous videos, I'm from Belfast and my mom grew up with Van Morrison, so there's some pretty good stories in the family there. I also picked up The Who, The Kids Are Alright. This was a favorite album of mine in the 80s. When I was in the whole mod thing. It's a great documentary movie. This kind of came out after Keith Moon passed away. Almost a tribute to the band. It's pretty much exactly the same as I have an older copy, but you know, you get the book. Great cover on the book. And you know, about all the different songs and where these versions came from, blah 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 blah. And I'll just show you one of the vinyl. One's red, one's blue. So yeah. And then lastly, I got the Ramones. This is the Sundragon Sessions. So this, from what I've figured out, this is their second album, and this is how the Ramones wanted to release it. And a couple of songs were removed by the record label because they were worried they were going to get sued. One was Carbona, not glue. I think Carbona was like a furniture wax or something like that. Anyway, I guess kids would sniff it to get high. I remember looking this up a couple of years ago. Anyway, because Carbona is actually the actual brand of the product, they thought that they might get sued for encouraging kids to buy it to get high. So this is the original track listing and the songs put back on that the record label had banned at the time. And yeah, it's just on black vinyl. So yeah, so that was my record store day finds. And then I guess when I get my Pink Floyd, I'll have that as well. Okay, so I went to 2 record shows this month. One was in my hometown and one was in Ontario. I was just there on the weekend. These first couple are leftovers from the show here. This is just something to fill a hole. This is Burt Bacharach, Reach Out. Has The Look of Love on it. Alfie, What the World Needs Now. Just some classic, you know, I think because I was in that Elvis Costello phase there, I was getting into other things that influenced him, and Burt Bacharach was one of them. This is kind of cool. This is a Rhino Records sort of best of surf music with this very cool 70s cover. This came out in, well, 1982 actually. 82 or 62? 82. Came out in 82. The History of Surf Music Volume 1 from 61 to 63. And yeah, it's in beautiful shape. It's on a original looking 1982 Rhino Records label. This has like Miserlou on it by Dick Dale. Miserlou. Some of these I don't even know what it is, but I love a little bit of, oh, it's got the Safaris Wipeout. Another Dick Dale, the Blazers, the original Safaris, the Pyramids. Yeah, so I'm totally cool about that. A nice collection, especially with summer coming. You need some surf music, and you know, you gotta love the beat of that. And then this one I got kind of like in a dollar bin. A little bit of Adventures. I hadn't seen this one before. It's got the original cover on it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be original. I haven't played it yet. This is on the Dalton Records. It's in really nice shape, like for $1. There's not a scratch on it. And it's got their version of some cool things like I Can't Get No Satisfaction, Louie Louie, La Bamba, Wooly Bully. That's about all I recognize. So yeah, for $1, I'll take a little Ventures. That was fun every now and again. And then this one was a nice find too. This is, I don't have any of this in my collection yet, but this is Chuck Berry's Greatest Hits. And this is on Chess Records, which is pretty nice. Anytime you get a Chess Records. Again, really, really nice condition on the vinyl. Even the cover's actually in very nice shape. And this features Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, Johnny B. Good, Nadine, Maybelline, Memphis, Sweet Little 16. So yeah, it's got all the biggies. It's got all the Chuck Berry biggies, but yeah, again, just something to fill a hole in the collection, and I didn't have any Chuck Berry, and you know, Greatest Hits is always a good way to go. So these next couple I got in a local record store. This is someone that I know a couple of songs because I know the Police and the Clash were big fans. But this is Toots and the Maytals? I'm probably saying that wrong. And this is like a total ska, reggae. This is called Pass the Pipe. It's on Island Records. A nice Island record label there. And I've played side one of this, and it's really fun. And again, summer music vibe coming on, right? And totally recommend it. I would look for more Toots in the future. And then I picked up in the same day. This is the Rhythm of the Nation. This is the music of South Africa. This was, I believe, like a video based on the music of South Africa back during the apartheid era. And this features Ladysmith Black Mambazo, Malombo. Unfortunately I can't even pronounce some of the others, but yeah, if you like that African music, this is a great great album for that. It's on the Virgin Red label, and yeah, like I honestly don't know much about it. I know it was a documentary where these filmmakers went around townships outside of Johannesburg and checked out these bands, and I think like the music was even banned. Like, even if I remember, I watched the documentary years ago. I remember that they had to sneak into these sort of hidden places at nighttime to hear these bands playing, and yeah. And in keeping with the Africa theme, this is Joseph Ndor. This is Nelson Mandela. This was an album he made as a tribute to Nelson Mandela. This came out, this is a UK pressing. I was just trying to see if there was a date on this. Like, again, I'm pretty sure apartheid was still in 1986. This came out on Rough Trade. You guys that like the labels, that's another nice oldie looking one. I think he's from Senegal. Yoso Ndouar. Close enough, I guess. Sorry, Yosef, if I pronounced it wrong. I think Peter Gabriel had a big influence on discovering, and I know that he plays on the Peter Gabriel So album. Okay, and then this was, I think this was a record show purchase. This is a second album of this band that I'd never heard of up until like 6 months ago. This is the Sir Douglas Quintet, Rio Medina. And what was the other one I had? Let me see if I can quickly... Yeah. Together After Five was one I picked up last year down in Florida. Earlier in the year, January in Florida. That's a great album, so I'm going for this simply based on that one being very good. I think this was this is a Canadian pressing. This is interesting. This is a label called Stony Plain, which is a little Canadian label like in Edmonton or something like that, I think I read. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know why that's the label that's picked this up. And then to fill a space in my Talking Heads collection, I didn't have this one on vinyl, This is not one of their better albums, but this is Naked. Awesome front cover. Get a little close up there. This has Blind, Mr. Jones, Nothing But Flowers. This is a gatefold. So this was the original. And yeah, it wasn't one of their better albums, and I think by this time the demise of the band was obviously starting to show its colors. And but still, I like some of the songs, and you know, actually I haven't listened to that. I had it on CD, I think, when it came out, and looking forward to listening to it, or maybe cassette tape, I can't remember. Okay, so now I'm on the record store in Ontario, the record show in Ontario, and this was a great find. This is Howlin Wolf, the London sessions. This is when he went to London and recorded with the core of the band was Clapton on lead guitar, Wyman and Watts were the rhythm section from the Stones, and then Steve Winwood plays piano on a couple of songs, and then there's actually a couple of songs where I read somewhere that one day Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman couldn't make the session, so Ringo and Klaus Voormann played drums and bass. And there's another famous young man on here who played harmonica. I think he was like 19 or something. This is on Chess. And unfortunately he died like not long after that. He was only like 18 or 19 years old, and he was so good and as an unknown that Howlin Wolf wanted him to play on the album. Okay, so you saw me do a whole series on this guy up through his Columbia years. This was one that I did not have past the Columbia years. This is now he's on Warner Brothers. This is Elvis Costello. This is Spike, just on the beige Warner Brothers. Nothing too exciting there. But a really nice pressing, in really good shape. Everything about it is really, really pristine. Whoever owned this really looked after it. Of course, this is famous for the song Veronica, which he did with Paul McCartney. And then there's also quite a bit of Irish influenced music on here with Davy Spillane. I think Christy Moore plays on here. Derek Bell from the Chieftains plays on here. So there's all sorts of things going on here. And then there's also Roger McGuinn from the Byrds plays on here. So there's a lot of guests on Spike. And yeah, it's not an Elvis album I know really well. I mean, of course, everybody knows Veronica, but that's one I gotta put on. So then, these are actually getting pretty good, because at this record show I hit on two I've been looking for in really good shape. I love this band. I know a lot of people on the VC love this band. I know James, the professor, loves this band. He's done quite a bit about them, but we've got XTC, Oranges and Lemons. This has the Mayor of Simpleton, which was just a great song. This is like an original Canadian press in absolutely pristine collection. I'm so excited to have found this. Still with the original inner sleeves. And this is on the Virgin Blue label. Right here, where are we at? Yeah, Virgin. And if that wasn't good enough, as I kept going, what do I pull? But this gem. The Todd Rundgren produced controversial Skylarking. which a lot of people consider to be XTC's finest album. This is on the Red Virgin label. Again, just in perfect condition. These, like I said, had been totally looked after. They're in nice new plastic lined sleeves with the inside label still there. And the album is absolutely perfect. So those are two finds I was totally pumped at because I've been trying to build my XTC collection. This next one was, I don't know, I think it was one of those, you know, when you're flipping through a bin and you're like, oh, that would be good. I mean, it's a Beatles record. It's one that I hadn't seen before, but I found quite a bit of research about it online. So this is the Beatles 67 to 70. This is on Amiga, which was an East German label. So this came out behind the Iron Curtain, 1980. On this is their label, like a burgundy, nothing too fancy, and that's it. There's nothing with the record. It plays beautifully, and the sound quality is really good. I was a bit skeptical. I actually thought it was a West German pressing when I bought it, and that's why I bought it, because I was curious to the sound quality that, you know, I mean, we all know the German pressings have really good sound quality. It wasn't until I got back to my hotel room and I was bored and I was going through the records that I had bought, and I realized it was made in the German Democratic Republic, which is East Germany. But it's not a bootleg. This is from the EMI Records London, England tapes. So, you know, it obviously was done with a good pressing. Now, it's a single album to make up for the double blue album, because that's basically what it's mimicking. So the songs are different. So it starts off the same: Strawberry Fields Forever, Penny Lane, Sgt. Pepper's, With a Little Help from My Friends, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which is the same as the blue album. But then it jumps to Something, All You Need Is Love, and then Here Comes the Sun. And then side 2 opens with I'm the Walrus, Hello Goodbye, The Fool on the Hill, Hey Jude, Lady Madonna, and it ends with Let It Be. So, yeah, you know, when I got back home, I was like, why did I buy that? I mean, I have all these songs, there's nothing unique about it, but I guess it's just kind of cool to have something from the former Eastern Bloc, and then it's kind of neat to think, you know, I wonder who had this, and like I wonder how their lives were, and you know, what they thought when they listened to the Beatles. And yeah, so there you go. Little nostalgia. I'm trying to talk myself into that. It was a good reason to buy it. Okay, so then another album I picked up at the record fair was this 80s reversion of Metal by Pink Floyd, which has the echoes the entire side too. This is a Canadian press, just in absolutely pristine condition. Gatefold. And yeah, this is like a 1982, I think I want to say. This is on the Capitol Rainbow. See if I can see a date really quickly. Sorry, can't see the date. I'm pretty sure it's early 80s, like a second reissue in Canada. But plays really well, and I was so happy to find an original, not an original, but an early press of Metal that's just in beautiful condition. So that was a good find. And I didn't pay much for that either. It was a good deal. And then I got something I've been looking for a long time. This is The Who Live at Leeds. This is the Red Riding pressing from the UK. This has the original vinyl. I'll put this down for a sec. And it has all the inserts, including the Maximum R&B poster. So, where am I? Sorry, it's not like one of those things you can just throw down. So yeah, this has all of the inserts. I counted them. I think there's, God, I forget now. Is there 13 in the poster makes 14, or is it 16 in the poster makes 17? I can't remember. Anyway, you take my word for it. They're all there. I made sure online that they were all there. And comes with this suite. The Who at the Marquee, the very famous poster. So that was an amazing find. That's a 1970s original UK press with the red writing. And these are hard to find with the sleeve in good condition. And this sleeve is actually in pretty good condition because it's just brown paper. You know, like there's nothing to it. It's even got, you know, they even just stapled it together, which is fantastic. And then last but not least, my last pickup was, again, something I've been looking for. This is Neil Young's Decade. This is an original, is this Canadian or US press? This was a US press. This is with the trifold. And for those of you who don't know, of course, this is a discography of Neil Young from Buffalo Springfield, I almost forgot, through Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, through all the solo work, taking you up to Long May You Run is the last album. So I think it's On the Beach, or the one after On the Beach is the last album. I know Walk On is on here. So yeah, really excited. This is in absolutely pristine condition, which is why I bought it. Little Neil Young. And I'll just show you one. It's on the Reprise. And it does not have a mark on it. So yeah, so there you go. So that's the additional half, it was too much for one video, of my April record store, record fair, record day finds. So yeah, so I think I had an amazing month. And as I say, I have another bin. I might do a video on it. It's not unique stuff. Actually, there is 2 albums in there actually that would be pretty, some people would get a little excited about seeing. But yeah, it was like a little 80s set that I picked up from somebody. But anyway, that's part 2 of this. I'm gonna get this posted, and I'm gonna come back with a jazz score that I picked up. Hope everyone's doing well. Thank you very much, and enjoy the start of summer here in North America. Cheers.